In a city where gold flowed like water and luxury danced on every corner, there lived a man richer than 100 kings. His name, Chief Bernard Obilo, but his friends didn't call him that. They simply called him the wallet because truly the only thing that man knew how to open was his wallet. Mr. Obilo had everything: mansions, cars that looked like spaceships, clothes made with gold threads. But when it came to his children, he had one rule: let their mother handle them. I am too busy making money. His wife, Madame Clara, was a quiet, respectful woman. She raised the children alone, while the chief only sent school fees and birthday money. It's your job, he always said to Clara. Just tell me what you need. I will write the check. I'm not a teacher or nanny. It is not in my place to sit at home and be looking after the children. Clara tried her best. She taught them how to pray, how to cook, how to respect elders, but it wasn't easy for her. The children, Choka, Kamsi, and little Nonso, grew up in a house full of riches, but lacked the one thing that couldn't be bought: a father's presence. One day, Chuka had a fight at school. The principal asked for the father. When Chief Obilo got the message, he sent his driver. He said, I have paid them school fees, so I have no other business with the school. As the driver got to the school, the principal refused to speak to the driver, but still Mr. Obilo was not moved. Kamsi came up with the bad attitude of talking back and slamming doors. After talking to her about bad attitude, Clara couldn't help it but cried alone in the kitchen. She has tried to stop her, but she doesn't seem to listen. She said, those children are becoming something else, and my husband don't want to listen to me. Oh God, please help me. As she was about to go to bed, Nonso, her last baby, asked, Mommy, is Daddy allergic to us? Clara didn't know what to say. That question alone broke her down. She said within her, the only thing your father does is to keep money for upkeeps. Mr. Obilo came back that night and Clara, his wife, confronted him. My husband, please help me in molding the life of those children. My voice is too calm for some of their attitude. They need their father's presence in their life. He answered, they eat, don't they? They go to the best schools. They wear clothes from London, from India, from China, from all over the world. What else do children want? Clara said, all what you just mentioned are primary things the children need in life. Parenting is for both parents, not for one person. The children need to feel your impact in their life as a father. It's hard to do the job of a mother and that of a father. Obilo said, but I need to make money for the family, or you don't want money for upkeep again? The first sign of trouble came when Choka, now 19, got a girl pregnant. He didn't tell anyone until the girl's family stormed their mansion. The mother was not too surprised because she has been warning him on his relationship with girls, but he refused to listen. Chief Obilo was shocked. My son? Impossible. He's in Cambridge. My children have the best of life. They lack nothing. Well, yes, but Cambridge couldn't teach him what a father should have: discipline, boundaries, and accountability. Chuka stood in front of his father and said, you were never around. Don't act surprised by who I have become. Is that the reason why you should impregnate a girl? Obilo exploded. So because I gave you everything, you now blame me. I don't blame you. I blame your mother, who couldn't teach you the simplest things of life. Clara was already exhausted from the blame talk. She was thinking really hard on the next action to take to control her kids. It was not too long, Kamsi started sneaking out of the house, hanging with strange boys on bikes and smoking things that smelled like burnt yam. One night, she came home with red eyes and no shoes. Clara wept. Obilo only said, I will enroll her in another school abroad. Clara asked, is that all you could say? He said yes, the fault is from the school, not home. I have the money, and I don't see any reason why my children should be misbehaving. Now, so the youngest was becoming withdrawn. He stopped talking, spent all day watching cartoons, and refused to eat unless the nanny begged. It's just a phase, Mr. Obilo said. He will be fine. Just increase his allowance. Clara asked, increase allowance for a boy of 12 years old? Clara said, "You cannot be throwing money around for these children. This is not what they need in their life now. They need parental guidance, parental control. They need love and family togetherness to grow." Chief Obilo said, "But we are doing that, or are we not?" Clara couldn't talk again because her husband has refused to compromise. The house was slowly crumbling, but the chief didn't notice. He was too busy counting his coins and shaking hands with his other billionaires. Clara fell ill. She was stressed, weak, and heartbroken. She said, "My husband, you have built an empire outside, but our home is falling." Obilo said, "Who is pushing it down? Tell me." He scoffed. "Clara, please, you worry too much. The children will outgrow these things." She held his hand and whispered, "They are not growing, they are breaking." For the first time, he looked into her eyes and saw the cracks, years of silent struggle covered by makeup and smiles. "I begged you to help me raise them, but you were always busy buying more cars, building mansions, celebrating life, traveling from one country to the other. You gave me money, but never support. I was a single mother with a husband." Her words pierced him, but ego wrapped him like a cloak. "You should have been stronger," he muttered. That was the last straw. Clara stood up and said, "Maybe when life slaps you hard, you will finally hear what I have been saying." Not long after, a scandal rocked. Chief Obilo's empire, his trusted business partner, vanished with billions. He couldn't believe his eyes. The government froze his accounts. Contracts were terminated. Properties were seized. For the first time in 25 years, Chief Obilo had no driver, no chef, and no security. The mansion became quiet, too quiet. Clara took the keys and left for her sister's house. Chuka refused to return from abroad. Kamsi blocked his number. Nonso didn't even recognize him anymore. Alone, hungry, and confused, Chief Obilo sat on the same couch where he used to count money. He looked around and realized he had built a house, not a home. One day, he saw an old picture of his children when they were small, sitting on Clara's lap. His eyes watered. "Where was I?" he whispered. "How did I miss all this?" He remembered Nonso asking, "Is Daddy allergic to us?" They broke him completely. Past, he started volunteering at a local boys' home, teaching maths and listening to their stories. He paid solid attention to their stories. For the first time, he saw how powerful a father's words could be. He wrote letters to his children, one every week. Most were unanswered. The burden was too much for him to bear. No friend and no family. Clara returned one day with Nonso. The boy stood behind her like a shadow. Obilo knelt down and said, "I was a terrible father, but I am ready to learn now." Nonso looked at him and asked, "Will you come to my school play?" Obilo cried, "Yes, I will sit in the front row." He did, and when Nonso danced like a funny tree, Obilo stood up and clapped like a madman. Slowly, the children started coming back, curious, conscious, but hopeful. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Love was replacing luxury. Presence was healing the past. Years later, Obilo had only one house left and one car, a dusty Toyota, but he had something far more valuable. Chuka became a counselor for teenage fathers. Kamsi opened a rehab center for girls. Nonso became a teacher. One evening, as they all gathered for dinner, Chuka raised a glass to Mom, who never gave up, and to Dad, who finally showed up. They all laughed, even Obilo, who now wore slippers instead of Italian shoes. Clara smiled, tears in her eyes. Children don't just need money, they need mentoring. They need moments. Obilo nodded. "I learned too late that money can build houses, but only love builds a home." The family hugged. For the first time, they felt like a family, not just people sharing a roof. Outside, the stars blinked gently. It was quiet, peaceful, real. And in that small, laughter-filled home, Jifobilo found something money could never buy: a second chance. Moral lesson of the story: money can build a house, but only love, time, and guidance can build a home. True parenting goes beyond providing material things. Children need more than school fees, clothes, and gifts. They need your presence, your wisdom, your listening ears, and your love. A father's absence cannot be replaced with wealth, and a mother's efforts need partnership, not abandonment. If you fail to train your children today, life may train them in painful ways tomorrow. No amount of riches can substitute for the values, discipline, and emotional support that only active parenting can provide. Be present, be involved, because the greatest inheritance you can give your children is not your money, but your time, your love, and your example. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Bye.